Okay, great thing about that was we got nobody hurt today, got some good valuable work in. And I thought we made a lot of progress from beginning of spring to the end of spring. I give the players a lot of credit. I thought they really tried hard. And when you look back December 1st, the first day I took the job, when we had 10 offensive starters in the portal and many defensive guys, and really couldn't even fill the team at that point. And where we are today, we made good progress. But we have a long way to go and a short time to get there. And I think the players understand that in terms of my mindset, how we think, playing more physical, cleaner, tackling better, first time out, throwing and catching, stuff like that. But we'll look different with 4 or 5 key injured guys back in the fall and with a great summer. And second time through the offense, defense, special teams, and hopefully a few roster additions in some areas we could use some help. So with that, I'll take some questions.
I guess those first 2 roles of the offensive line, if you want to call them the first team, the second team, it felt like they were having maybe some trouble with the pass rush, but also some stretches where they're keeping clean pockets. Just what did you see from maybe offensive line play tonight?
That'd be hard for me to evaluate that until I watch the tape. I know that when we ran the ball, we ran it really well. It seemed like the ball was moving forward. I told Mike to throw it 55, 60% of the time tonight. There were a couple drop passes that probably stalled some drives. And then with me being out on the field, there was one situation where the ball was in plus territory about the 42 or 7, where we'd have taken 2 downs and we threw it on third and got a penalty. And, so we'd have played that different. But there was some pressure on the quarterback for sure. But it's hard for me to say how much.
In terms of the quarterback, the last 2 times you talked to us, you kind of said Curtis was making significant steps. Did that continue kind of in the back half of spring? And what were your impressions of Tavon as well, kind of in that second half of spring?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if our 2 offense was that good or if our 2 defense was that bad. I think I know the question of that, or the answer. I think the freshman corner got exposed a little bit in the boundary. So, but Tavon made some nice throws, and Addison made a play or 2, Kobe. But we then turn around and drop a ball. Could have been a big play, throw an interception. Curtis was a victim of some drop passes that could have kept some drives alive. So I think there's a healthy competition there heading into summer and fall camp. Competition's a great thing, and we need more competition at all positions. And that was one of our issues this spring, is we have some guys that have played some football in the past that didn't have the kind of competition we'd like to see to motivate them to go out every day, every play, focused in, best effort, improving. So that's how I saw it.
Matt, on your left, and Mason.
Hey, Coach. Aiden Fisher's obviously a guy you're familiar with, new here. He was all over the field tonight. I know he's a first-time starter last year for you. How much progress has he made? How impressive have you been with his, progression from when he first started for you last year to this spring?
Yeah, I think Bryant Haynes sleeps a lot better at night with him. He's like a quarterback of the defense, knows it inside out, really stays really respected by his teammates too, helps get others lined up, so making progress, good football player.
Mason, on your right, to Jack.
Yeah, Curt, you mentioned the summer and fall being super important and having a long way to go with a short time to get there. Kind of what does the next few months for your football team look like?
Well, I think this is a busy time for the coaches, number one. The portal's open. We've spent a lot of time on that the last few days, as well as recruits here and then getting ready for the scrimmage. And they're going to hit the road, May recruiting. Players will stay in the strength and conditioning program for a week and then prepare for finals. And then there's a few weeks where they're off, and then summer sessions start. We'll be back training again May 20th, begin our summer program. I thought we made excellent progress in the winter with Derek, and usually what we see in the summer is just a huge leap. I expect to see that. and then another significant leap in fall camp. I think the number one thing right now is just some key positions on this football team we got to strengthen a little bit.
Jack, can you right and set in front?
Just with the setting tonight being different, a spring game compared to practice the last few weeks, were there any players that kind of stood out that were maybe unexpected that you thought flashed tonight?
I'd really have to watch the tape. You know, to me it was just a glorified practice. They called it a game. You know, I know Tavon started out good. Him and Zero hooked up a couple times. But I think some of that was going against a freshman DB, may have fallen down one time. So I got to watch the tape. It seemed like when we ran the ball was moving forward pretty good.
Second front and Daniel.
Yeah, you mentioned that you were running the ball well. I was going to ask about the running backs. Just, Lawton and Ellison and Black all had, some moments, throughout the game. Just what do you like about the way they ran the ball tonight and the progress they've made this spring?
Yeah, I think that group definitely caught my eye. And, I just think our running back room is faster, more dynamic, good at pass pro, good at catching the ball out of the backfield, can break tackles. We have more speed and athleticism back there. And all three of those guys just love football. They're football nuts. Tough guys. They're tough guys.
Daniel in front and Sam.
With McCulley, I know you kind of mentioned you want a little bit more out of him, I think, last week. How did he kind of finish this spring, and where do you kind of need more out of him?
I thought he made a really nice catch, that first touchdown, on the post. And I saw him really respond. I don't do that a lot. Did it once last fall with our quarterback, and he really responded about the middle of the season. He still has some improving. Everybody's got to improve, okay? But I know what his goals are to be a great player. And it starts with the way you practice, your attention to detail, how you study off the field, how you prepare. And, those are some of the areas he's got to improve in. But I'm glad we got him.
Sammy row 3, then Todd.
Coach on the back end of the defense with Ashbury and Jones, they both, I believe, had interceptions today. What have they shown you this spring and capped off in the spring game growth-wise?
Well, they're both doing great in the classroom, I can tell you that. And they've worked really hard. They've got great work ethics. And Asbury's had a very consistent spring. Jones has been running a little bit more with the twos lately, but had a nice play, like you mentioned. Both those guys have played a lot of football and caught and had about 100 tackles last year each. So that kind of experience only helps.
Todd, and then we'll wrap with Zach.
Curt, you mentioned some of the good things the offense did in terms of the running backs and some of the things that the receivers did. I guess the other side of the coin of that is the tackling aspect on the defensive side. There was a few gains where there was some yards made after contact. How do you evaluate the defense, and how much of that is good offense? How much of this is that improvement that needs to be made defensively?
Well, this was the first practice where we tackled, which is kind of a trend across the country. I watched some other people, even their spring games, they're thudding. So we did this last year, and because we opened with Bucknell last fall, we didn't even tackle in fall camp at any of our scrimmages. I'm not saying we're going to do that. So I'm sure there were some missed tackles tonight. And, when there's missed tackles, that can be a lot of different things: athleticism, balance, body control, toughness, things like that. So it's hard for me to give a comment on that without watching the tape, other than I'm sure there's a lot of improvements to be made.
Zach, can you right last one?
Coach, you mentioned you're still looking to add to this roster. Are you looking for starters, depth guys? What positions maybe are you looking to add some guys to this offseason?
I'm looking for the best I can get. I'm not looking for any third-teamers. All right, guys, thanks.